You ever stand on your own front lawn at 2 in the morning, hands shaking, looking at strangers, hauling boxes into what used to be your childhood bedroom and just laugh? Because that's exactly what I did. Staring at the lease agreement in my hand, feeling my blood turn to ice. My house, my dad's house, the place where 3 generations of my family had eaten Thanksgiving dinner was being rented out to a family I'd never met at $800 a month, while I was halfway across the world dodging bullets in Afghanistan. Every penny was going straight into the pocket of Patricia Thornfield, the HOA president, who forged documents claimed I'd abandoned the place and decided, hey, why not make a little extra off a soldier serving overseas? These suburban dictators really thought they could pick off the people least able to fight back and hide behind a mess of fake legal authority. But what Patty didn't know, what she couldn't have known, was I wasn't just any soldier, and I wasn't alone. I had 7 brothers in arms who pulled leave the second I called, ready to show this HOA what happens when you mess with the wrong family. Oh, this was going to be one for the history books. But let me back up a second, because trust me, it's even wilder than it sounds. Name's Jake Martinez. Army's in my blood. My grandfather fought in Korea. My dad did 2 tours in Vietnam, and I spent most of the last decade playing cat and mouse with the Taliban. My old man passed from cancer a couple years back, left me this little 70s ranch in Colorado, the kind of place where you can still hear coyotes at night. Dad paid it off with 30 years of construction, every nail set by hand. I grew up learning to measure twice, cut once, right there in that garage. The trouble really started when the neighborhood incorporated got itself an HOA Patty at the helm, of course. Patty Thornfield, who insisted on being called Patty 52 Blonde Bob, that could survive a hurricane, fake sweet voice white, Lexus McMansion, the whole 9 yards, got herself elected president and suddenly decided people like me, a single soldier who spent more time out of the country than it didn't fit her vision of the neighborhood. You know the type, right? 6 months into my deployment, I get a letter, a $2,400 special assessment for a new community center. I'm for community, but the math didn't add up. My little ranch was being charged like the $1 million homes down the block. I shot off a polite email, got a response so dripping with condescension I swear it stained my phone. Military deployment doesn't exempt anyone from community obligations. If I didn't pay up, they'd take legal action. So I did what soldiers do. I planned. Put the mortgage, utilities, maintenance on autopay. Asked Mrs. Chen, my 73-year-old neighbor who makes the world's best dumplings, to check in on the house. Thought I'd covered every angle. Wrong. The fines started rolling in grass half an inch too long. Mailbox the wrong color. Mrs. Chen's grandson parked in my driveway. $50 a day each compounding. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. And then it got personal. Mrs. Chen, who'd lived through the Cultural Revolution, raised 5 kids alone, calls me crying. Patty served her with papers, told her she was trespassing for watching my house, that she could be fined or arrested if she set foot on my property again. That's when the gloves came off. I reached out to military legal assistance, thank God for the Service Member Civil Relief Act, or SKRA, which protects deployed soldiers from exactly this kind of garbage. Sent Patty a certified letter demanding the HOA freeze all fines and violations, and filed a formal complaint with the Colorado Attorney General. I thought it worked. Violations stopped, letters paused. Then Patty sent me a 47-page property maintenance agreement she claimed my dad signed right before his cancer diagnosis. It was clearly forged too clean, too new, aged with coffee stains, and signed with a pen that didn't exist back then. According to Patty, my dad gave the HOA permission to do whatever they wanted with the house. That's when Patty brought in her brother-in-law, Rick's property management company, charging me $400 a week for emergency lawn care that Mrs. Chen had done for free. My savings bled out faster than a punctured fuel tank. Turns out Patty wasn't just targeting me. Other military families started reaching out, same story, same timing, always when the soldier was away. She'd hit us with bogus fines, pad the bills, then start foreclosure proceedings. Month 11. I got a notice of lien to $18,000 for unpaid assessments and emergency maintenance. Patty's real play: bleed us dry, then swoop in with lowball offers to help us avoid embarrassment. She started showing up with strangers, measuring rooms, acting like she already owned the place. Mrs. Chen, bless her, started photographing everything. My unit's legal officer, Captain Sarah Morrison, spotted the cracks. Jake, this maintenance agreement isn't worth the paper it's printed on. No notary, no witness, nothing. We filed for an emergency injunction and looped in a military affairs reporter. But Patty doubled down, whisper campaigned that I was unstable, started a push to have my house condemned, tried to destroy my reputation with fake letters and emails. The real twist, my brothers back at base started a GoFundMe. The story went viral, and within 2 days, veterans from all over had donated $15,000 to fight back. The local VFW and American Legion offered legal support, and other military families started sharing their own HOA nightmares. That's when I realized I wasn't just fighting for myself. So I set a trap called Patty Acted Defeated. Said I'd be willing to sell the house to clear my debts. She jumped, offered to buy it herself at $15,000 below market value. Colorado's a one-party consent state. I recorded every word. We'd caught her, but then Patty pulled the nuclear move. She rented out my house to a family, claiming I'd abandoned it and handed them a forged lease agreement. I got home on emergency leave to find a U-Haul in the driveway, kids' bikes on the grass, and Patty grinning, clipboard in hand. The police couldn't help. They had a legal lease on paper. My new attorney, Rebecca Torres, saw it instantly. The rental was never approved by the HOA board, and under Colorado law, the whole thing was illegal. We subpoenaed records. Patty had pocketed thousands in rent-skimmed HOA funds for years, and her brother-in-law's landscaping company didn't even have a business license. Then Rebecca found the motherlode. The HOA had never legally existed. Patty had filed incomplete paperwork, missing signatures, missing filing fees, no legal authority. For 5 years, she'd been running a criminal enterprise targeting military families with forged documents and fake fines, stealing 3 other homes and laundering over $400,000 through bogus property deals. FBI White Collar Crimes Division got involved. We decided not to tip Patty off, let her keep racking up charges. My brothers in arms turned the VFW hall into a war room with legal, financial, digital, and media specialists all working together. We launched Operation Suburban Justice. The community, finally seeing the truth, rallied. Local businesses put up "Support Our Veterans" signs, and neighbors came out of the woodwork to share their stories. Patty, in full meltdown mode, started forging new documents, bribing notaries, and even tried sabotaging my house, caught on camera thanks to my friend Demo's hidden surveillance. She staged vandalism to force a condemnation and tried to flee with stolen funds. Meanwhile, she went on a social media smear campaign, creating fake accounts, sending anonymous tips to the Army, even hiring actors to pose as concerned neighbors. The Army launched an investigation only to trace every fake accusation right back to Patty herself, adding federal charges for filing false reports. When she tried to bribe my attorney, then threatened her family, the FBI decided it was time. The next HOA meeting, we filled the room, 200 neighbors, veterans in dress uniforms, local news, city officials, the FBI, and sheriff's deputies all quietly waiting. Patty strutted in like she owned the world, started her speech about dangerous veterans ruining the community. That's when Rebecca lit up the screen with evidence, fake documents, stolen money, emails, planning to get rid of military families. The room erupted. As Patty tried to run, Deputy Santos stepped forward and arrested her for wire fraud, mail fraud conspiracy, and SKRA violations. Her brother-in-law, the notary, even the private investigator, every one of them faced charges. The fallout: Patty got 8 years in federal prison, her crew went down too, and the community rebuilt. My house was restored. My brothers and I spent weekends fixing it up, neighbors pitching in, Mrs. Chen back with her dumplings. We formed a new, legitimate, veteran-friendly HOA with clear rules, transparency, and imagine this, basic decency. The ripples spread. Colorado passed new laws protecting military families, and a dozen other states followed suit. I started the Deployed Defenders Foundation to provide free legal aid to military families, went to law school, and am even running for office now. Oh, and I'm dating Rebecca. Nothing like shared combat to bring people together. Every summer, we host a Freedom BBQ. Veterans, neighbors, the Tennant family all gathered in my dad's yard. There's a memorial blue spruce planted for my father, and laughter echoes where there used to be fear. I read his old letter, sometimes the one he hid in his workbench. Stand up to bullies, protect the innocent, fight the good fight, son. Make me proud. And I think maybe, just maybe, I did. So here's my challenge to you. Share your own HOA nightmare in the comments. Don't let the petty tyrants win. Sometimes the system breaks good people, but sometimes if you fight hard enough, good people break the system right back. Let's hear your stories. What would you have done in my shoes?